Let me quote two figures that I found extremely enlightening. Between 1990 and 2013, the European Union curbed by 19% all of its emissions. And during the same period, its economic activity has increased by 45%. So, you know, plus 45% for its economic activity. And at the same time, we have curbed our emissions, which means that it is possible to grow economically, but whilst at the same time curbing one's emissions. So what is at stake here during this COP21 conference? We have huge challenges. We need to reach a consensus. We have 190 countries, plus the European Union meeting, so 196 parties who have to decide on a unanimous basis. This is a unanimous decision that is required, so a consensus is decided. We're not going to vote. There's no Security Council. We don't have qualified majorities to go by. We have to decide together as to what we need to do. The 196 parties, and I believe 147 of them, so most of them have already pledged their commitments on the table, and we've looked at them against certain parameters, and of course these pledges have not yet reached a level that would preserve the increase of 2 degrees maximum. But my question is, are these first commitments credible? Are these pledges sincere, honest? How can we measure at a later stage that in actual fact, in reality, they will walk the talk, and indeed there is a drop in temperatures that can be seen. And of course, the countries will also have to commit not just to curb their emissions, but also to finance the changes. We need 100 billion per year in order to finance adaptation to transition, to energy transition, adaptation to the fight against global warming. You know, and we're talking about countries which are in the front lines, the most vulnerable as well, they're poor countries. 100 billion per year. This is a promise that we made a long time ago. Where do we currently stand with it? So people say we will probably get there by adding different donations and loans, concessional loans, and other sources of public and private financing. Now, is this money going to actually be put on the table? Which table is it going to be put on? Who is going to be in charge of managing the so-called green facility? How is the money going to reach these countries? How will the money be managed in these countries? How we are going to identify the priority actions, target the main priorities that need to be pursued? I mean, these are questions that we might wonder about. Let's talk about commitments also. When it comes to curbing emissions, let's talk about the commitments that are made in order to boost financial solidarity. We need, number one, for the most polluting countries to actually assume and shoulder their responsibilities, and we also need these countries to show solidarity with the other countries worldwide. These are two essential points where there are expectations, and I'm certainly expecting from the European Union and the most committed countries and most developing countries to actually make progress.